But today we're going to be talking to James, and I'm excited. So James, when I got your form, you just very bluntly said, I lost 100 pounds. All right. So
Short and sweet.
what was your starting weight? And did you go into this process? Was the goal to lose weight, or did you have some other things you wanted to accomplish?
Well, first of all, it's so weird. Like I'm doing this with you. I've watched that interview with Justin about 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I watched that one so many times. That was so great, man. But this time, 7 years ago, around May, I got pneumonia, and I was almost 300 pounds, and I got really sick, and I spent 3 months in bed. The medication didn't work. The doctors were just like, you have no immune system. And I mean, by that point, I was 51 years old, right? I had all the fat guy stuff going on, high blood pressure, hypoglycemic, knee surgery, chest pains, eczema. I mean, massive depression. I was angry. I was just a mess. And
Wow.
so for about 3 months, I was in bed. I own a recording studio. I'm a voice coach. A record producer, and my assistant was trying to keep it together. I was in bed teaching on Skype to try to keep making dough. I got I'm married. I'm still married. I was married, and I had 2 little kids. They were like, I don't know, 3 and 5. So I was like, I had these 2 little dudes and a wife and a dog and this business, and I thought I was about to check out. It was weird, man. And the doctors just said, I don't know what to tell you, man. You should lose weight. Like, that was it. And I'll never forget it. So I'm laying in bed and I'm watching all these shows about losing weight. And I buy on iTunes, because I'm on my laptop, I'm in bed. This is the end of July 2015. And I'm so sick, coughing and wheezing and you name it. And I got the movie Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. And I started watching it like around the clock. And August 1st, my wife manages Trader Joe's. So we bought a masticating juicer. And August 1st, 2015, I weighed in. That was that before picture, 275. And I started juicing. And after about a week or two, I felt better. It was weird. Like, I looked younger. I felt better. I lost like 20 pounds, 10 pounds, like right away.
Wow.
And I was out of bed. It was like a miracle. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Right? Like,
Yeah.
And that started it. And it took me almost 22 months to lose the 100 pounds. So I went from 275 to 175. And I was, at that point I was 53 years old. So I did this in my 50s. And I did it with a lot of I was sick. I was very sick. I'd had knee surgery. I had a heel spur. I mean, I was a hot mess, as they say. And I just got serious, and I really dedicated my whole life to this journey. And I'm still the same way. That's how I know about you, because this is like my world, right? I've got to stay on point. I mean, how it really started to come. I lived in LA for about 25 years. And the last 5 or 6 years, I was a voice coach on American Idol. And I started gaining weight. And getting fat when you're on TV is a drag. It's a drag, man. It's like there's nothing gentle about getting fat on TV. And my run with the show ended in 2010, and in 2011 we moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and I lived there for a few years, and I started gaining weight. Man, I was so depressed, and I don't know, man. I was just like living on Taco Bell and Moe's and Doritos and you name it, and that was it. And like I said, at the end of coming into the summer of 2015, I started feeling that feeling of impending doom. I don't know, like I thought, I'm not going to make it.
Mm.
Every time I would eat, it would feel like a knife was going in my side. I was like, I was so unhappy and my blood pressure was through the roof and I was hypoglycemic. So I kept getting dizzy. I really had like lost all my dreams at that point. I was like, I moved to North Carolina. I didn't want to have anything to do with the music business. I just wanted to teach voice, raise kids, soccer practice and be done.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a couple of years of that, I was like, oh, this isn't me. So finally at the, leading up to me getting sick, I was like, let's move to Nashville. And that was how it came down. So August 1st, 2015, I weighed in at 275 and started the journey. September of that month, the next month, I moved to Nashville, which is where I'm at now.
Okay. Yeah. Nashville is amazing for music.
Yeah, it's a fun place.
Where do you think the depression stemmed from? Were you depressed before you decided to stop doing music, or did that decision create the depression? Or
well, I don't know, and I've got other this is like a channel where we talk about what's real, right, Chris?
Yep.
So I'm also a clean and sober guy. So I got, I'm I'm hooked on phonics, man.
Gotcha.
I can overdo anything. I can buy too many guitars. It's like, so, and being a product of 80s rocker thing, I indulged in every thing that it had to offer, and I just took everything too far. And I really did get depressed. When I started to gain weight, and it was just, I don't know, man, it was just brutal, man. I remember one time the guy that was like my hairdresser, I don't know what happened. I don't even know. He said, listen, man, I saw the dailies from today. You look terrible. Don't tell anybody I do your hair. I was like, and he was like my friend. My friend. It was like, oh my God. I'd never forget it, man. It was like, when the blood rushes out of your body and that whole thing of just like, so I was just overwhelmed, man. And I don't know, but losing the weight and getting rid of all the sugar, it was huge. It was huge. And I did a lot of it. I got very into the Warrior Diet.
Mm-hmm.
That was the book. I had it on Audible and I would listen to it over and over again. And, all about, he was into fasting before anybody was into fasting. And another thing that's weird about fasting, so I've been doing this now, like in 2 weeks, it'll be 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started it, I half the time I didn't want to tell anybody. People would see me, they're like, how are you losing weight? And I was like, oh, I'm doing a lot of fasting. And they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. You're going to, your metabolism, you're going to die. Everything's going to fall apart. You're going to die, right? Yeah. But now you say, I'm fasting. And you're like, oh, really? Are you doing lean? Are you doing 16-8? Are you fasting? Are you doing water fasting? Are you doing bulletproof coffee? Like all of a sudden now it's like cooler. Yeah. Where when 7 years ago, it was not, man.
Not at all.
Like you were fasting and they thought you were crazy. They thought you were crazy, but I didn't care what they thought. I'm like, well, I think you're crazy. Right. I think waking up and eating pancakes is crazy.
Right.
Right. I mean, why would we do that? That just doesn't make sense, Yeah.
Conditioning is crazy. It's funny because I started my journey, it's 7 years, maybe 7.5 years. So I started probably around the same time as you.
Right. So
I know. I actually got into an argument. So one of the first fasts I did, my brother was dating this girl at the time, and she was just one of these, college educated know-it-alls, you know what I mean? And she's trying to tell me that I'm going to she said I was going to die. She was like, you can only live for like 3 days without food. You're going to kill yourself. And I was like, what? I said, well, how many days can I survive on water alone based on what you think? She said, 10 days, you'll be dead in 10 days. She was serious. I said, I'll see you on day 11. So I know how harsh. I said, I'll see you on day 11.
Hi, Chris James here. I hope you enjoyed that clip, and if you did, don't forget to check out the full-length video available on our playlist called Inspiring Interactions. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and make sure to join our free membership at ahacommunities.com.